Good evening, everybody, and welcome to our Curro Esports webinar, the first one for this term. We hope you guys will have an interesting time learning something new about esports. Yes, let's get this thing started. My name is Magdalene de Kok, and I am the current project lead for Curro Esports. And we are always willing and busy to start something new at Curro. And tonight, I want to tell you about this amazing program of ours um, that we started a couple of years ago. But more than that, I want to show you that your child playing esports can do so much more and can reach different types of heights by just being part of this amazing sport. I'm going to share my screen with you so that we can look at all of the content together that I have to share with you tonight. And let's just make sure that it is showing. There we go. Okay. So tonight we are going to discuss a parent's guide to understanding esports, meaning that we want to show you what esports is about for those of you who are still a bit unsure about it. And also the difference between esports and just regular gaming. We'll be talking about a couple of different things about what esports looks like in the modern world, what are future employers looking for, how to support your child, some practical hints and tips, and also how to get involved and to stay involved. So the definition between esports or the definition of esports, um, it's beyond just gaming, but it stands for electronic sports, which is organized competitive gaming where your players compete in various structures, either local, national, or on international levels. And just like traditional sports, they train, they strategize, they compete either in teams or individually. Now, last couple of years, esports has seen a massive growth, specifically locally in popularity like League of Legends, Fortnite, and Counter-Strike, and even Rocket League is also starting to make a name for itself. But with the global revenue of esports reaching a projected $2.39 billion by the end of 2024, and even to grow in viewership by 640 million to a projected 640 million viewers a year. It is absolutely amazing how many people actually watch the sport. The League of Legends World Championship had a prize pool of over $2 million last year, and a whopping 6.4 million viewers watched the event live as it was streamed, and a lot more have watched it, the recording afterwards. Now, esports is set apart. Like traditional sports, you require a high level of skills, dedication, and teamwork. It's not just about reaction. There's a lot of communication involved, strategy, and adaptability. Your child, while practicing and playing esports, need to know how to adapt to specific situations that suddenly happen within the game. Many of the professional teams also have coaches, analysts, and even physical trainers. And there are so many various genres in esports that your child can basically choose what fits him or her best. It goes from shooting games to strategy, sport games like EA or as you all used to know it as FIFA, even Rocket League, where you drive little cars to kick a ball around, that is considered an esport. That is one of the titles that your child can take part in when they are participating in esports. Now, esports tournaments itself are very competitive. Most of the time, they are organized by a specific group or person or structure. And they also offer leagues with various formats from knockouts to seasons that can run a whole year, seasons that are only a term or 2 terms long, and they can also grow in rank, meaning your child may start out in the primary school as a beginner and end up playing in a professional team when they leave school. We have esports at Curro from grade 3 all the way up until grade 12, and many universities are also offering esports at the moment as a sport, but providing bursaries to go to university. Now let's delve a little bit more into the difference between esports and just casual gaming. Um, es- Esports is typically very relaxed. It's in a relaxed atmosphere at home, playing with friends, and the primary goal is enjoyment. There's no pressure, there's no training. You don't have to improve. You can play the same level a million times and not get anywhere. And that's how fun and relaxing just gaming can be. Now, in contrast to this, esports is aimed at growing and skill development. They have tournaments they need to go to, they need to advance through the rank to have and face progressively more challenging opponents. They also, just like regular athletes in traditional sports, have to really strive for excellence to work hard and achieve their competitive success. There are also various structures in competitive gaming. It goes all the way from organized competitions, like we mentioned earlier, and or different leagues for every single title, meaning every single game. You can have various leagues or competitions. Now, competitive gaming also brings a lot of teams and individuals together who train specifically and review their gameplay to improve their skills. Now, this is similar to traditional sports where you see players reviewing what they did on the training field, rewatching videos, going through and getting feedback from their coaches. In a similar way, your esports athletes go through exactly the same process. Now, there's also a professionalism, professionalism in esports. Although in South Africa, we do not yet have a national governing esports body like you have for rugby and netball and football, but I assure you that is on its way. So in the meantime, we are treating esports in South Africa, everybody who participates, as a professional sport and teaching our learners and all of the players taking part that that's where we are going. And that's what we would really like you to encourage when you are talking with your child and they are interested in esports, to make sure that they do understand that this is a professional sport and that they can earn a living one day, either by being part of the esports or a career involving esports, which we're going to delve into in a moment, or they can be a player themselves. And by being a player, you as a parent need to understand that you can support your child by setting goals, whether they are just a casual gamer or whether they really want to compete, and to help them understand that it demands a different type of commitment when they are taking part in esports. It is a serious endeavor and it can really foster personal growth and discipline through various titles and playing with their friends at the same time, having lots of fun. Now, I mentioned career pathways through esports. On the right-hand side, you will see a diagram, and I'm very sure you cannot read all of the little titles in those little blocks, but there is no other way for me to show you the scope of what's available for learners and players taking part in esports in the future. Now, the esports ecosystem has grown to offer numerous career opportunities beyond just playing competitively. Just like in traditional sports, it requires a network of roles like coaches, managers, marketers, broadcasters, and tech and non-tech centered positions. Roles like game designer, software developer are things that your child can learn at school and eventually develop the skills to start building in his or her esports career. Other roles, such as a data analyst or a marketing specialist, can be more deeply involved looking at the statistics, audience behavior, or even the business side of esports, right? Making money? You can take esports and really dive into how can you drive more viewership for a specific title. Another side of esports or a career in esports could be something like a sports psychologist or health coach. It is so important that these athletes understand that it's more than just sitting behind your screen with your controller or a mouse, that they have to understand the holistic picture even from a young age. The same way that you, as a sports player running on the field, needs to drink enough water to stay hydrated because you're outside in the sun or even in the swimming pool. An esport athlete needs to know he or she needs to drink some water. It's all part of being a healthy athlete. And being a sports psychologist or a health coach can really help emphasize the wellness and showing just that esports also need to take that part into consideration, or esports athletes rather. Now, there's various skills that is learned through esports, and when you look at future careers, we look at various skills that you can learn through esports, from technical proficiency to strategic thinking and adaptability, which we spoke about, also communication and leadership. Now, employers are increasingly looking for digital literacy and technology proficiency, which our learners or our children can naturally build through esports. By understanding the various gaming mechanics, software navigation, digital communication, winning email addresses to register a game, all of that prepares them for this technology driven workplaces we see at the moment. Now, part of esports, you also have to include strategic thinking. It nurtures that ability to anticipate and respond to complex situations. In esports, the player must quickly evaluate their opponents and make the options and choose the best option to make the best choice under pressure. Our kids really struggle these days to work under pressure, and esports is exactly the type of activity you want to drive and give them that experience of really being in this pressure situation where they have to perform. And it's ideal preparation for high stakes jobs in fields like project management, finance, or even technology development. Now, we also spoke about adaptability. Part of esports, you have to adapt at a very fast pace. And there is research showing that the reaction speed and adaptability that an esports athlete has to do and has to make during a game has actual improvement in their math marks in the high school. So by just learning how to react quickly, to make a plan and adapt to the changing circumstances, your the your player or your child is really gaining a lot of experience by playing a game. It also teaches them a lot about communication and leadership. Now, esports teaches them to communicate very clearly and also to lead their teams towards shared goals. Now, I want to stop here for a second and tell you a little story. Last year, Curro Esports did our very first LAN throughout the years, and our second one was in the Western Cape at Curro Durbanville Primary School. And there was a little boy taking part in one of the titles, and the team participating against him was very skilled. They were losing at that stage, and he felt that his friends didn't help him while trying to win this match. Then he ended up accusing the other team of cheating. He threw a tantrum, throwing his hands in the air, saying, "Oh no," and just absolutely having a meltdown. That same child came back 4 months later to the national land. Totally different, completely changed. From being so immersed in this online, segregated, not being part in an esports activity in person or a sporting activity in person, to being a child who was communicating with his opponents. He actually created a relationship with a child from a different school, not in the Curro group, and learned from that child what he needed to learn to make his game style better. In the end, this year at the Western Cape LAN, he was also sitting next to that friend and they were sharing anecdotes and stories. They've become friends outside of the esports circle. And this year at the national LAN, that same child who threw a tantrum only a year and a half ago was a team captain that managed 3 teams with his teachers. And he was the one who helped them with strategy, with getting things together, and making sure they know what's happening. That is how amazing. And I've got good goosebumps just telling you that story. From how he grew to a leadership role by just taking part in esports. It is absolutely amazing to see how they communicate when they are playing. Any child who is interested in running their own company, being a coach, or being in management someday will learn all the necessary skills when participating in any team sport. Esports just gives them a next level up when it comes to all of that together in one single moment when playing a match. Now, all of these skills can also be transferred to any of the various careers and a lot of different industries. But looking at the future, employers are identifying 5 top skills that they are looking for in the future. The first one is critical thinking and problem solving, teamwork and collaboration, professionalism and a strong work ethic, oral and written communication skills, and then leadership. And all of those skills can be learned through participating and playing some fun games. The third of these 3 areas of esports that I want to talk to you about is the educational and the skill building aspect of it. Now, we have given our schools, all our Curro schools, a lot of support throughout the last couple of years to create their own unique esports program at each and every campus. Depending on where you are situated and if your child is in a Curro school, they will have various opportunities for various titles. And the schools choose which titles to play by deciding on the interest of the learners. But at all time, they need to take, or they do take, these following skills into account. We really emphasize the educational value that esports offers. And through this structured gameplay, learners develop their critical thinking as they analyze their opponent's strategies and they need to adapt their own approaches. The skill is truly invaluable when it comes to careers, which range from tech to business, or even just progressing from grade 7 to high school. We also encourage our coaches to discuss teamwork and collaboration, to show them how they can work together as a team to foster that culture of teamwork, that they're all working towards a specific goal, that by communicating clearly and calmly, they can work together to achieve whatever they want to. And I think one of the biggest things we teach our players is resilience. Esports teaches your child to be resilient. I do not know how many times you can play a level over and over and over to achieve a specific goal. The same way that Mornay Steyn or Handré Pollard had to kick to post a million times to get to the level where they are. The same way an esports athlete sits in front of his computer or controller or on his mobile device, depending on the title, and for hours and hours and hours, they have to work constructively, checking their skill, checking the stats, reviewing their gameplay, adapting, and determining what they really need to make a change, to improve, and learn how to handle loss as well in this whole process. Now, that is a trait that many employers want to see, and esports just delivers every single time. Now, when we come to this, I have another little story I want to tell you. We have an excellent, excellent team in one of our Curro schools. They are a Rocket League team, meaning they are a team of 3 and they are just kicking a ball with little cars. Well, that's what it looks like when you're viewing the screen. This team started practicing together last year at the end of the year. The coach didn't know anything about esports. She knew about gaming, but didn't know about esports or coaching esports itself. Through her going through the process and getting these kids together and having these players sit and talk and work together, they went from a school who was relatively unknown in the Curro Esports group to a school who eventually participated in one of the most recognized national events, or the first one for this year, Comic Con, as well as AGC, and also triumphed in the Curro National LAN and Western Cape LAN every single time. They also triumphed in the end in our online leagues. This team, by putting in dedication, by being resilient, by working together, created a little community with them and their friends and their teacher. And they are making waves in the esports school environment. Many of the teams who are participating against them know exactly who they are. And I am not going to name names because I promised, but they are a team to be taken account of. And that's where you want to be. That is what your child aims for if they are an esports athlete. So now you're going to ask me, okay, that's all fine and well. You've given us this massive history. You've told us all about the skills. But what can I, as a parent, do to really support my child? What can I do to get this conversation going, to show them that I support them and I understand, or even try to understand? Earlier this afternoon, we did a webinar about screen time for teachers, and next week, at the same time, there will be a webinar on screen time and how to manage screen time for parents as well. So please check in or look at social media for the links for that session. But a big part of esports is exactly that, is setting boundaries and creating a balance. You as the parent need to model this behavior for your child. When they see you model being having a balanced view to handling screen time, not sitting on your phone the whole time, um, they learn all of that through looking at you. Esports athletes need time to practice. And if you as the parent understand that, you can help them create that balance. Unfortunately, esports is reliant on having a specific type of device or computer, laptop, tablet. And if your child is really, really geared and interested in becoming a professional player someday or joining some of the major leagues after school or even in high school, they do need a proper esports device or console to participate. But with that brings them back into the home environment, because we completely understand that you as the parent don't want to send them to school with a 20,000 or 40,000 rands device. So most of the time, those desktops, those ones that you always see with the big screens, are at home. So as a parent at home, you need to have that chat with your child and you create the balance for them, setting up the routines, building that trust with them so they can come to you with their frustrations, needing help, if they need to work extra hours for a specific match coming up, or if it's exam time and there are no matches coming up, for you to be able to have that conversation with them and having the respect between each other to understand that these are the limits, these are the boundaries, and this is what we do. It's all about having that open conversation, to have regular discussions about their gaming and their gaming experience. Another big thing is to support safe gaming. There's a lot of stuff that you can get up to when it comes to gaming. Things like internet safety, reputable links in games, and also avoiding specific games that might seem or be addictive or even risky. When we mean risky, we mean exposing a child from that is 8 or 9 years old to a game like CSGO. You are exposing that child to a level of violence that they are not equipped for yet. Emotionally, they are not equipped for that yet. To prepare yourself for that, I really encourage you to go to commonsense.org, Common Sense Media. It is a very, very trustworthy site that you as a parent can use to check whether a specific game is age appropriate. Also, whether there is any strong language or violence or any kind of discrimination happening inside the game. You can look at the type of skills the game is involved in or the skills the game teaches. And you can, by knowing what you're talking about, help and encourage your child when it comes to playing new games. We also want to create a very positive working space for them. And as a parent, you can support your athlete the same way that you would maybe put up a netball hoop for them to practice their goal shooting, or put up a football post so they can practice scoring a goal, or even have a bat and being able to bat with your child. Your child needs a safe and comfortable space to game in around the house. This also really promotes that sportsmanship and gives them a balanced approach because they now have a space where they know they can go and practice versus a space where it's technology free. I really would encourage you also to think about having a tech-free zone in your house. If you have an athlete who's very, very serious about esports, they also need to take a break sometimes. And it's very difficult if you know you have a specific level you have to achieve or a specific skill you're trying to achieve, getting frustrated. They need your guidance as a parent to just say, all right, let's just step back. Let's just go into the tech-free zone for a moment, whether that is outside, in the living room, in the kitchen, wherever you are doing it, just having a discussion with your child and going through the process with them to understand that frustrations is awesome, is happens, but you also have a space where you can chat with me and then go back to your area and play further. We also encourage you to stay up to date, meaning ask questions about what they're playing. Have a conversation with them about their recent matches. What did they learn? Was there any strategies? Did they achieve anything specific in these games? And try and show a genuine interest because it will also open up that ongoing conversation between you and your child and build trust and understanding. Unfortunately, being a technology driven sport, you need technology to play esports. It also exposes your child to various other risks. We do not want our esports players ever to sit alone in their rooms, practicing for hours on end, or just being on their devices without you as a parent knowing what they're up to. From a teacher's perspective, we always want our players to be safe and to know when to let their parents know when something unsafe is happening. It's very important that you ask them these questions. Also, by asking them what their goals and their interests are, you can set up and start to see whether they are aiming for this to be a very long-term event in their lives, or are they just interested in it now because everybody at school wants to play Minecraft. So everybody's playing Minecraft, now I want to play Minecraft. If they are not up for it in the long term, if you don't have that conversation with them to see on what level they are thinking of the sport, you won't know on whether what type of technology to get them. In rugby or in athletics, say athletics, you are running long distance, you need a certain type of tacky or trainer to do long distance. You can't run with spikes to do long distance running. Well, you probably could. I don't think it's a good idea though. So the same way and the same concept is exactly for same for esports. You need to talk to your child and ask them what their goals are so that you can support them not only from an emotional perspective but also from a financial perspective. Now, that's the next step that I want to get to tonight, is how you get involved as a parent. Now, there are various ways that you can get involved with to see what is going on. And I'm going to stop at a specific section in this. But let's first start with the type of esports communities you can join. There are a lot of Facebook groups and other social media platforms that you can go and have a look at. Now, when it comes to gaming, there is a very interesting platform called Discord. For those of you who have heard about it or are gamers yourselves, Discord is the place where gamers go to chat. It is very important that you as a parent know about Discord or go onto your child's device to see which Discord service they have joined. Discord is like WhatsApp combined with Facebook. Not all of it is friendly. Not all of it have blocks that's in place, age limits. That is up to you as the parent to manage on your side. As teachers, we do the most we can to make sure that they are safe when using Discord, but that is where gamers go to chat and learn more and learn skills and even have online discussions with their team members. We also use Discord when playing matches. They connect together with their headphones, like you see I have on tonight, and they can talk in-game real-time strategy, hear each other, talk to each other without yelling across a hall. It's very important that you look at what your child is doing on Discord and also stay informed on the various titles that they're playing. You can also go onto communities like Twitch or platforms like Twitch and YouTube, and search for tutorials or groups that are surrounding the titles your child is interested in. So just reminding you again, a title means the type of game, whether it's Rocket League or Minecraft or Overwatch, Dota. Those are the games that we are talking about. Now, I also want to encourage you to attend events together. There are various events throughout the year, both live and online, that you can attend. And most of them or all of them are in Gauteng or in Cape Town. Now, if you are traveling from a different province, it might be a good idea to book a weekend away and maybe go a day to one of these events. We have Rage X coming up now in December at the Gallagher Estate. And that is where a lot of players come together, where they share new games. There's some gaming, there's tournaments happening. They also have some equipment on sale or displaying new equipment, and various other things where people are dressing up in the gaming costumes or characters. And also Comic Con, of course, is the other event you can also join. There's a Comic Con up in Joburg, usually in the September holidays, and then in April, May in Cape Town. There are also other local tournaments that you can join or go and see what it's about. It's very important that you as the parent also support their practice and competitions at school. When your child is playing rugby or netball or doing athletics, we are so used to seeing parents standing on the sidelines or even seeing that grade 4 mom or grade 1 mom running next to the field after their little one who is now running in their first 100-meter race or 60-meter race. That's exactly the same support we love seeing as coaches from you as parents when it comes to esports. Your child goes through exactly the same pressure that a traditional sports participant goes through. The pressure before the game, not knowing the opponents, unsure about what's going to happen, not knowing how they're going to react inside the game. Will everything work? Is the internet going to be fine? They don't know. The same way that we don't know if the weather is going to hail and the rugby match will be postponed. They have no idea what is going to happen at that time in the event. And that causes a lot of anxiety for children. And if you as the parent shows that support, knows when their games are, knows when they are having specific matches, or even if they are chosen for a specific team, same way that rugby players strive to be in the first team, or any other athlete strives to be in the top team at school. Esports athletes strive to be in the top team in their school in their various titles. And you as a parent have the choice to make about what level of support you are going to show your child. Now, this is the story I also want to tell you. At these LAN events, we started last year. I think there were maybe 2 or 3 parents at the event. Very, very surprised to see what actually happens at an esports event because there's tables and cables and computers and kids yelling and excited and it's noisy and there's voices going all over the place, cheering and disappointed sighs. And they were just looking at this organized chaos, thinking, what in the world is happening? But when they were standing in that hall and looking at their children's faces, they could see the enjoyment of being there in person and actually playing against another team sitting in this venue. Even players sitting at school and playing online appreciates their parents just staying up to date. But let's just go back to this LAN. This year's LAN, instead of having two parents, we had a group of parents. At our national LAN, it was absolutely amazing to see the support. Due to technical issues, we were running behind schedule and we had our under 14 um, Minecraft PvP match right at the end. And there were two teams competing, one in Cape Town and one in Krugersdorp. And it was so amazing to see how the parents stayed behind and sat in the front of the hall and were cheering their kids on who were sitting on the stage playing in this final of the national LAN. We had about 20 parents sitting in that hall cheering and looking and listening to the spectating, listening to the shoutcasters, commenting on this event, looking for their child's name to appear above their little avatar, and just enjoying the event together. So your child is also really, really dependent on your support and they enjoy seeing it. And as coaches, we love it to see parents at events to showing your support. So the next one we are talking about is to get some resources so you can understand the games. Now there's so many places that you can go and look for stuff. There are guides, articles, different videos, ChatGPT, Copilot. Pick your choice of AI tools. You should be able to find some information about the title somewhere online. Some specifics I want to mention is I already said Common Sense Media, really, really a great place to start. You can also go to the Esports Observer. They also have a lot of guidance on the various types of games and what they're playing, the safety considerations, rank, ratings, and skills that's developed through these games. Next up, you can go look for game-specific guides. Now, most of the games have guides built into the games. Like Dota, you will find tutorials or the guides in the game itself, but also find online uh, FAQs, question and answer sessions that's specifically aimed at families or parents that ask questions about the games, or have a YouTube or Twitch tutorial on specific games where they break down the games to their objectives, all of those little mechanics that's specifically surrounding the game itself. Also in this, you can also stay up to date in the trends of what's happening in esports. Just Google a little bit, read what's happening. What was the latest big tournament? Who was the youngest esports player? We had our one of our Curro schools competing in the new episode of gameplay or the new series happening on Supersport Schools. So if you've missed that and you've had DSTV available or not, you can go onto YouTube itself and search for Supersport Schools and look for the program called Gameplay. Now on Gameplay, it is our own local produced esports show that tells you all about local events, local tournaments, also game specific updates, and sharing everything that is South African esports school and university related. In this specific program, we had some of our um, how should I put this? Very skilled learners participate in a question answer competition and eventually won because they could go and look at different trends and information and they researched and they came back and they had the support of their parents. Parents also helped. Those two parents also helped them prepare for this gameplay quiz show. So by staying up to date with those trends, you can assist your child in all types of aspects of esports. The last way or another way for you to get involved and to stay informed would be to really connect with your esports coach at the school. All of the schools really put a lot of effort to run a successful esports program at school. The same way that your traditional sports um, coaches go for training, we offer coach training for esports coaches as well. So they put a lot of effort in making sure that they know what's going on. So reach out and ask them questions if you are unsure about something. Ask them about the specific game if you have any concerns, or even offer support if you can offer some support to the team. There are really different ways for you to find support, and you can always ask on any of our Curro Esports social media pages under Curro Sport if you need additional support as well. We are always willing to help. So just reach out and we'll be there for you. So that was a very short and sweet, well, not that short, um, session on esports. So I just want to lastly recap. Esports is a very variety, a big sport with a lot of variety. From playing the game to being a support player, to being a team manager, or just being there as a cheerleader. There are so many different ways that you can support your child when it comes to esports. Reach out, communicate, and give them the guidance when it comes to being safe and also when it comes to being an athlete. Same way that you would guide your learner in any other traditional sport, they also need your support in esports. Now is the time for Q&A, and if there are any questions, please pop them in the Q&A and we will answer the questions. I am going through the questions from bottom to top. Right. Curro Online does not have esports currently. When will it be made available? So we are working on that. Actually, having the coach that was there at the beginning of the year, unfortunately, moved to a different school. So they had to start again from scratch, but we are working on them and we really hope to have them online for next year. However, I would suggest that you contact your nearest Curro school. We have some of our online learners participating with their Curro school in their local area, if there is one, as part of their teams. Since esport is one of those games that can be played online, that is one of the ways for you to go. Next question from Natasha. Which devices can be used? Well, that's a very good question, and that's one thing we didn't touch on, is your game-specific devices. Various games require various devices. If your child is into a game like Apex Legends, CSGO, or anything with a lot of graphics, they need a proper gaming device. Most of those games are very big. I think the last update for Apex was almost 100 gig. So you need a device with a lot of storage for one, if you're going to play those games. But you can play Minecraft on your phone. You can play Minecraft Education on a normal smartphone, Apple or Android. So it all depends on what title your child wants to play. EA or FIFA as we used to know it, Rocket League are all Xbox games and should be able to be played on Xbox. So it all really depends on what games your child wants to play. I would suggest going to Common Sense Media. On Common Sense Media, you can also select the platform that your child has. So you can go and put in your child's age range and selecting the specific platform, whether it's Xbox or a computer, depending on what they're using. And then you will get a couple of games there. And then, of course, definitely reach out to your local school or the school, your Curro school, and asking the coach which titles they do offer competitively. And then you can decide on what device is needed. Next one. How does one get a Minecraft code or account? Right. So Minecraft Education is the first title we used at Curro schools, and the reason for that is it is ring fenced, meaning only learners with a Curro account, so that very long number at curro.co.za is their Curro account, and only learners who fall in that group can access the Minecraft game at that moment if they have that little code. Now, the reason for this is normal Minecraft, you can play on servers that do not have any passwords. There could be adults in that community playing with them. And by using the educational version, we ring fence it so that no adult, um, no child can have any contact with an adult or a person older than them, not in their school, where we as teachers do not have any control of that. So that's how Minecraft education differs from regular Minecraft. Now you get two types of Minecraft outside of education: Java and Bedrock. Java is a little bit more technical and you can join a lot more anonymous groups with that. My Bedrock looks like the education version, but you also can join different servers or groups in games. Now, the difference between those, sorry, let me just stop sharing quickly. Right, so you can also purchase those for your child, but Minecraft Education is free to every single Curro learner. So if your child has an at Curro.co.za account, they have Minecraft Education for free. You don't need to buy a license. You don't need to buy an account. Um, Everything should be perfect from that side on. So yeah, it's all up to you on what level of Minecraft you want to use. But Minecraft Education is only available to education systems if you buy the licenses or it is part of your Microsoft account, as it is at Curro. Well, I hope you solved that technical issues. Sorry, I only saw your message now. Alvin, Rage Expo will be at Gallagher Estate in Joburg. They're close to Waterfall, Mall of Africa. That's around the area where it is. And then the last question so far is it only for Curro learners? No, it is definitely not only for Curro learners. From 2024, we have opened up all of our leagues to any school who would like to participate. So if your child is in a different school and can't be in a Curro school, or you've chosen not to put them in a Curro school, their school can still get a team together and participate in any of our Curro leagues. There is an amazing company we work with called ACGL, and they run a league called ASL, which stands for Africa Schools League, meaning that only schools compete in that group. You can go and Google them, ASL or acgl.co.za, and they run leagues for all schools. Now, from Curro Esports side, we work along with them, and all of our leagues are open to any school who want to join. From Minecraft to Apex Legends to Overwatch to Dota, and all of our LANs, our in-person events are also for any single school who would like to join. Currently, we are more focused on growing the community than asking for a fee to join. So it's absolutely free to join any of our esports events. The only requirement is they need to be part of a school or an education institute. So homeschool groups, anyone can join. They just need an adult supervision and then they're good to go. Right. I do not see any other questions. Let me just make sure I didn't miss one. Um, okay, sorry, I did miss one. Someone asked about the colors for sports awards. Sorry, let me just expand that. Okay, so at the beginning, I mentioned that there's no national governing body for esports at the moment, or no body that has been authorized by the bigger South African structures to be a national body. There are things in place that is being created, and we hope to see something amazing happening soon. But for now, unfortunately, there's no body that regulates that. The same, so if playing netball, I know NSA and South African schools netball have specific regulations that can give a certain level of achievement for esports events. And then in that way, they can get colors at school awards. We are busy developing a structure that we can share with all of our Curro schools, which equates to the various colors. But unfortunately, until there's a really official body, we can only use our own internal policies, and that also depends from school to school. But if you have any questions about that, please contact your school, ask them for clarification, and if you still have a question, you're welcome to reach out and ask. Right, let's make sure I did answer all of our questions. There's another one. Let's go up. Is esports throughout the year? Yes, it is throughout the year. It's not like a summer or winter sport. It goes from January in the beginning of the year all the way until November. We are starting with our grade 3 league this term, and also in other ASL and ACGL school league, ASL, and events at Comic Con and so forth. Those are very event based or term based. And otherwise, the Curro Esports program goes right through the year. What we do, though, is we structure it in such a way that every term we focus on a specific title or a specific game. Term 1 is usually the Minecraft build battles and Dota, but then they start practicing for term 2 events. In term 2, we also have some Minecraft, Overwatch, Apex Legends, and then they start practicing for term 3 tournaments, which is then Minecraft, Rocket League, Valorant. What else was there? Oh, and then yeah, that's it for term 3. And then they have the main event at the end of term 3, which is our national LAN. And then in term 4, they start practicing for term 1 or for the next year, start building new teams. Most of the time, in primary school specifically, your grade 6 and 7s are your learners in your primary school team, and that team needs to be filled up every single year. If those learners move on to high school, you need to start filling up those ranks. So most of the schools practice right through the year, depending on the titles available at the school. Has Roblox come up on the radar of esports? Uh, yes and no. Yes, because it had the potential. No, because it's not secure. So yes, you can join Roblox these days with a specific code, but at the moment, it's definitely not on anyone's radar to be included as an esports. Rabetse, so that is an interesting question. So they are not recognized as an official body. So sometimes people do things that they are not allowed. But yeah, so unfortunately, I can't give you more information about that. But we are waiting for a proper body to be formed to be able to provide colors. Right. Any other questions? This is your time. Otherwise, you need to send me an email and or ask a question on social media. Any other questions from anyone? You are very more than welcome to ask right now. A list of all the games. Yes, let me do that quickly. I am going to edit the slide quickly and then you can take a screenshot. So let me add it to the slide. So at Curro, we do the following titles. We do Minecraft, which includes the build battles and also the PvP. Now, PvP stands for player versus player. And in player versus player, they also, it's more like the fighting style. And then in the build battles, they are building for a specific reason. Next up, we've got Rocket League. Rocket League is the game where they have the little cars chasing after the ball. It's exactly like soccer, and the same strategy that you would need as a 3 versus player, you would need to learn all of those skills as well. Then for the next game, we've got Dota 2. Now, Dota is what they call a MOBA. It's an online game where you play against other teams online at the same time, and you create this game, or you create this group of people who play together. That's a very simplified version of explaining it. Very complicated game, but worth learning it. Really worth learning it. Your child will be a strategist up on a next level if they know how to play Dota. Um, then we've got Overwatch 2. Now, the reason why we chose Overwatch 2 is because it builds up into a game like Valorant, which is only for 16 years old and up. And then that game then builds into something like CSGO, which is 18 years and above, according to Curro rules. We prefer to use the highest age requirement that is set by various platforms. Let me just minimize this. Let me share my screen. Excuse me for 1 second. There we go. Okay, so these are the titles that we have at Curro. This was very fast type, so excuse me if there's any typing errors. But like I said, Minecraft, Rocket League, Overwatch, Dota, Valorant, and Apex Legends. Valorant and Apex Legends is only for 18 years and up. And then everything from Dota and Overwatch, Rocket League, Minecraft build battles, that is up to primary school as well. Overwatch and Dota is only for grade 7 and up. Will receive certificates. Yes, there are prizes to win. Our prizes have been sponsored by ASA for education for this year, and they are receiving their prizes, will be delivered within the next week or two, and they're also receiving certificates for all of the online leagues. Okay, looks like that is it from the question side. Okay, I will keep an eye on the chat. But for those of you who've joined us and you want to jump off, thank you for joining us tonight. I really enjoyed having the conversation with you and sharing some information. If you ever need any help or any support, please reach out to us. As I said, my name is Magdalena Cook. You can find my contact details also on the Curro website, or ask a question on the website and we will be sure to reply to you as soon as possible, or on any of our Curro Sport social media pages. Okay, no questions. Thank you for joining, everybody. Have a fabulous afternoon or evening, rather. Good luck with the exams coming up for those of you who are jumping off. And yeah, have a great day further. For everyone leaving, thank you for being here. Fortnite. Oh, okay. One more question. Fortnite. So Fortnite is available through ASL, not through Curro Leagues. So you can join any of the Fortnite tournaments held by ASL. It's online tournaments. There are a lot of different levels that they play. They have teams as well as individuals as well. Okie dokes. Right. Thank you, everybody. Have a fabulous evening, and we will see you at the next one. There will be 2 more webinars for esports during the year. The second one will be the Girl Gamer, which is all about girls in gaming and how you can support your girls or your young lady in your house to be an esports athlete. And the next one will be specifically all about Minecraft, why Minecraft, how you as a parent can get involved in Minecraft and play and have some fun with your child. FIFA is also part of ASL, Rabetswe. So any of the ASL leagues, you can do FIFA at as well. Right. Have a great night. See you guys at the next one. Bye.